Over the last couple of weeks, it's become very apparent that Manchester United desperately need a goal-scoring number 9, with Anthony Martial not really being available due to recurring fitness issues, as well as Cristiano Ronaldo not really being replaced towards the back end of last year. I think it's clear that Manchester United have a huge hole at the top end of the field. And today, I would like to talk about who I think Manchester United should sign to fix those problems once and for all. Quick disclaimer, I'm not deluded enough to believe that we're actually going to sign this player in January. I'm more just giving my opinion and talking about the summer and beyond. I just want to put that out there. So obviously the player is Victor Osimhen, right? He is a player who's 24 years old from Nigeria. He is the most expensive player and the most expensive transfer in African history. He's leading the goal scoring in Serie A at the moment and is a pivotal part of the unprecedented form that Napoli are in at the moment, and one of the reasons why they play such scintillating and dynamic football. He has been a huge contributor for them in terms of goals and assists. He's had 17 goal contributions in just 15 games, 13 of those being goals, 4 of those being assists, and he's actually underperforming his expected assists by some margin, so he could definitely improve in terms of his creativity as well, and he has a lot of potential outside of just goal scoring. So today we're going to focus on that exactly. We're going to focus on his goal scoring ability, we're going to focus on his off-ball movement, and then we're going to focus on his physicality and what he brings to the team in terms of that. In terms of his goal-scoring ability and his profile of player, Victor Osimhen is a penalty box striker. Now, he's a lot more than that in terms of what he contributes to the team, but this is what a lot of people know him for because this is what he excels at. He's a very balls-to-feet player, and he needs chances to be created, and that's a problem that Manchester United definitely have to figure out tactically. But again, this is a long-term signing. We're not signing somebody who's going to disappear in 2 years. We're signing somebody who's going to be here for the next few years and beyond, so there's more than enough time to build an adequate team around him that can create the chances, the type of chances that would fit Victor Osimhen. And what I like about him when you look at the data is he's outperforming almost everyone in the Serie A at the moment in terms of penalty box involvements. That includes touches and obviously goals scored. Even when you look at his FBref report, you look at the touches and where he's receiving possession, everywhere else is not that encouraging, but the highlighted bar there is touches in the attacking penalty area. That is brilliant. He's in the 92nd percentile, 6.7 touches per 90 in the opposition penalty box. And he's scoring at a really good rate as well. When you look at the goals that he's scoring at the moment, 0.78 per 90. He's got 13 goals in the Serie A, as mentioned earlier in the video. And that, to me, is something that Manchester United are seriously lacking. And the difference, like I said, between him and Cristiano Ronaldo, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Edison Cavani, and a few other strikers that we've signed like Radamel Falcao, the difference between Osimhen and those guys is he will be here for the long term. So we will actually have the time to assess his strengths, assess his abilities, build a team around him, but also get him to adapt to maybe the way Ten Hag wants to play. This is a player who has a lot of room to develop because he's only 24 years old. So he doesn't exclusively have to be a penalty box striker because there's so much more to his game, which brings me on to the next point. He is a very, very physical player, very athletic. He's quick, he's agile, even though it doesn't come across that way because he's very tall and he's very lanky, so he's not the most aesthetically pleasing footballer. But don't be fooled by that because this guy can wiggle his way through tight spaces and he's very, very good at finding open space. He's an extremely intelligent footballer at occupying space. And the biggest part of being a number 9, obviously receiving ball to feet is important and playing with your back to goal is important, which we'll talk about in a moment. But one of the biggest parts of being a number 9 is exploiting open space. How many times have you watched Manchester United play against a team that's playing a low block and we just can't find space? Osimhen is extremely adept at finding those small pockets of space and making the most of it if you can just release the ball to him quickly enough and he can score. And that's the beauty of him. When Manchester United are playing against a low block, he can be the guy who sits in the box and offers us something that Martial didn't, offers us something that Rashford doesn't, offers us something that Antony doesn't, offers us something that we currently don't have. On top of that, he can also play on the counter because, again, he's really quick and he's really agile. So he really does cover all bases and he really does make us a more dynamic team. But another thing that Victor Osimhen offers to this Manchester United team that we currently don't have, apart from Weghorst, obviously, is the pressing ability. He he's really good at pressing from the front, and he's a really hard worker, which is obviously really important in the Erik ten Hag system. So not only are you getting goals, assists, and direct goal contributions with this guy, but you're also getting somebody who can play on the counter. You're also getting somebody who can be a penalty box striker and adapt to those different systems. And then on top of that, you're getting somebody who is willing to press from the front and work hard on the defensive end, which obviously contributes positively to Manchester United in the future. And because he's still so young, pardon me, he obviously has a lot of legs in him. He can do this for at least the next 4 to 5 years before he starts wearing out due to injuries, I would imagine. So that's another thing about Osimhen that really impresses me. Whereas when I look at someone like a Harry Kane or some of the other targets that Manchester United fans want, I think to myself, at the age of 30, at the age of 31, yes, elite striker. Yes, complete forward. I get it. But how hard are they going to work off the ball? How much running can they really do? How much football can they play at the elite level before we start having to compensate for their weaknesses, their lack of pace, their lack of movement? And Harry Kane has never been quick throughout his career anyways, right? And so Victor Osimhen really does beat him when it comes to that. Again, I'm not saying that Osimhen is a better player than Harry Kane. I'm just saying he's a different type of striker and a different option to anything we have in this Manchester United team currently. So for me, those are the three main reasons why I would take Victor Osimhen at Manchester United. 1, his goal scoring ability is phenomenal. 2, he is exceptionally good in terms of finding open space, and his movement off the ball could be really helpful for us both in transition on the break as well as when we're trying to break down a low block. And number 3, he's pressing from the front, his physicality, his pace, and just how much of a good athlete he is really appealing to me, especially for a player that young and a player who still has a long time to play and has the longevity for us to actually build a team around him. Anyways, if you did enjoy the video, please don't forget to leave a like to support the channel, subscribe if you are new, and of course leave a comment letting me know who you think Manchester United should sign in the summer and beyond when we get new owners and when the opportunity comes to address the striking issue. Otherwise, it's been your boy Triple M. Peace.